Hello, everybody.
Buenas tardes, mi gente. Folks, give me a second as I welcome our Spanish speaking neighbors to our broadcast today. Buenas tardes, mi gente. Si quieren acceso al programa de hoy en español, por favor, marquen el número que aparece en la pantalla, que es 646-749-3122. Cuando le contestan su llamada, por favor, comparten el código que también aparece en la pantalla, que es 779-328-221. Y también va a estar esa información en los comentarios, o no se tienen que preocupar de que no recibieron o escribieron esa información. Ahí va a estar disponible para ustedes. I am Tammy Rivera, the executive director and lead organizer here at SOC. Have the privilege of serving the community that I was born and raised and continue to live with my children. Today, folks, we have our full team with us. making sure that you have every access to our democracy, every voting information and resource that you could possibly need. And so we're very happy to do that. And I want to share um, who are all the team players so you understand our level of commitment to this effort. And so we're very grateful to have on our production team Stacy Carlos, who's our organizer and lead for public resources. And then backing her up on production is Jinx, a former staffer um, at SOC, who is coming to us all the way from Chicago virtually to stand by in the event anything happens. And then, of course, Jeanette Torres, our organizer of the youth program, who's also serving as a backup production. Jeanette and Stacy really, collaborated to take a shared leadership role with me at this forum. I'm very grateful for it. Jeanette turned out to be like a magician, videographer, clipper, digital mastermind, of which I have no skills. So I especially appreciate that level of gifting. And then we have Isabel doing our simultaneous interpretation as a consultant. Very grateful. She's been on all day. It is not easy, folks, to be that attentive and going all day long. And so we really appreciate her and Tony Chavez, our director of operations, who is covering a couple of different roles, making sure our interpretation line is working and making sure the staff have food for the day and being a backup in all kinds of ways. And then really happy also that Anita was with us earlier to cover the phones. That Alexis, our youth organizer, has been with us all day, cross training on all these production functions, and even was on. Her and Jeanette took over the 2 o'clock broadcast, which I'm really excited about. I get most excited about seeing our youth take on leadership roles. And then Wilma, last but not least, is off for today to do a very honorable role of being a poll worker, helping you all vote. We were on today all day. We had an 8 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, a 12 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, which was our youth segment. We have this 4 o'clock broadcast. And then, folks, we only have one more. A 6 o'clock is our last broadcast of the day. And we've had some great guests with us today, just so you know. Formerly in the previous broadcast, we had our county executive, David Crowley, with us. We had State Representative Sylvia Velez, Ortiz Velez. We had our president of the Common Council, Jose Perez, with us. We have a video from the chair of the county supervisors, Marcelia Nicholson. And then we have Alderwoman Jocasta Samaripa was with us, and a representative from the Milwaukee Election Commission, as well as the League of Women Voters. So we feel like we've really provided some high quality guests for you. And we're going to take a moment right now to debut the video from Congresswoman Moore.
Hi, everyone. This is Gwen Moore, and I am coming to you on behalf of the Southside Organizing Committee. I just want to remind you that today, April 4th, is Election Day in the state of Wisconsin. And on the ballot is the statewide race for the Supreme Court. The newly elected justice will serve for 10 years, making decisions for all of Wisconsin. We need a justice that will protect our voting rights, that will protect access to health care, and will stand up to unfair redistricting. We and all of our neighbors are counting on you to vote today to protect our democracy. I'm thanking you in advance for voting.
Thank you, Congresswoman Moore. She's been a steady and faithful partner with SOC over the years. We're very grateful to have her serving and for her partnership. Let me tell you a little bit about SOC if any of you are new with us. And if you are with us today, we can see the number of people who are with us, but we can't see who you are. So please drop a line and say hello. We'd love to give you a shout out. It is SOC's 33rd birthday this year. We are the longest serving grassroots organizing institute on Milwaukee South Side. Very proud of our history that started in 1990 with neighbors just like you getting together to say, we want to make sure that our neighborhoods and our community thrive, stay strong, are safe. And so that's what our mission has been, the soul of who we are. And we continue that to this day. We want to make sure that you have a safe, livable, and economically vibrant community, that you have a voice, a vote, and a vehicle to organize together for the change that you want to see in our communities or the dreams you want to achieve. You can contact us for any need that you have. If we don't have that information or resource, we'll find it for you and get you connected. You can call us at 414 672 8090, as you see on the screen. And everything that I share here, folks, today, links, information, will also be shared in the comments section. So you don't have to feel rushed or like that you lost some information. It's captured there so that you can access it. And you can go to our website at socmilwaukee.org. And you can email us at soc@socmilwaukee.org and contact us through any of our social media avenues. What I'd like to do now is share a couple of the guest speakers that we had earlier so that you get the advantage of hearing from them. So next on, we're going to have President of the Common Council, Jose Perez.
Buenos dias. Good morning.
Buenos dias. We're so glad you're with us today.
I am too. It's a great start to the day. Excited about everyone getting out the vote today. We know how important it is. Elections matter. Voting matters. I want to thank you for not only the opportunity to be here, but for hosting this Get Out the Vote, this call of action that people can tune into and hopefully get questions answered and get motivated, not only to go out and vote today, but to go talk to someone else and get them to the polls today. So we're super excited about today. We know there's a lot riding in our community, and I'm excited because every election, I think more and more people turn out on the near South Side. We know how important Latinos have been to the city, to the population. We're the fastest growing demographic. And, we wish more people would turn out, and we're hoping that every election we get better at it and we turn more people out.
We agree, especially because SOC's district is 70% Latino IX. And we have the largest amount of non-English speaking people in the state in this area, which is primarily Spanish. What do you have to share with us that you want folks to hear about at the Common Council level, at the city level?
Well, we're very close in working with the state. We've been spending a lot of time with them to increase opportunities for funding. We can't raise taxes. We can't increase our revenue. It's been flat for so many years, and we think that we're on the right path. And talking and communicating with them, and I know that they're going to provide alternative resources and revenues for us so that we can make sure that we can deal with public safety and that we can really compensate our employees so that we can retain and keep them, because we have such a shortage of people working at the city. So other municipalities are paying better. It's a very competitive market, and we want our services to be up to par for the community, and it's hard to compete with that. So we're excited that moving forward in this spring, we can get to that place where we can give more to the community. It's not a perfect system, and we need everyone to pitch in and help us.
Great. We have a message here. Let's see. Claudia says, I love your art, Alderman Perez. That's on your wall.
That's actually from 1970.
Is it really?
Yeah. So.
Wow. All right. We thank you for squeezing us in. We know it's a very, very tight day. and have a safe and good rest of your day.
I just want to say thank you again, and hopefully I'll see some of you out. I take the day to kind of go to from polling site to polling site, just check in, making sure people get the resources they need, whether it's translation, interpretation, just answering questions in Spanish and English, and making sure that people are feeling comfortable going to the voting polls. So I'll
Thank
spend
you.
most of my day jumping around and hope to see you there. So thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Have a good. Thank you, President Common Council Jose Perez, who made history being elected as the president of the Common Council. And we're very proud of him for that and glad that he's serving. All right. We have tons of programs and services that we offer folks. One program we're going to lift up right now is our youth program. And so we want to share with you all that we run a youth organizing program where the youth are paid through a program called Earn and Learn. And so we're going to share a video on that to get you excited about youth if you're with us applying, and parents if you want your youth to be placed with SOC to work on leadership. They work on their personal leadership, their academic and vocational leadership, and organizing. They get trained to do all of that and they work on that. So let's tell you a little bit more about how you can join us this summer.
Joining us. And next, I want to talk to a little bit about the youth programming that we have here at SOC. We are currently an Earn and Learn site for the summer again. So I am very excited about that. We will have some new youth joining us for the summer. If you know any youth that is interested in working in the community, please let us know. I am going to bring Alexis on with me, who is one of our youth organizers, and she has a little message.
Hi, my name is Alexis. I'm the youth organizer here at Southside Organizing Center. Are you between ages 14 and 24? Would you like to help the community? We work to make our neighborhood safe and livable for our environment. Please join us this summer. We are officially the Earn and Learn site. If you are interested, message us at sockmilwaukee.org. We hope to work with you.
Thank you, Alexis. If you are interested in the Earn and Learn program, you can email us at sock@sockmilwaukee.org or message us on Facebook. I will also put my email in the comments to reach out if you're interested. I can assist with the application process. And if you truly want to work with SOC, I do have a priority code as well. That is something new that Earn and Learn is doing. The program application is completely online, but if a youth needs assistance, a family needs assistance, I am always available to help you. So please feel free to call the office, email us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Let me see if.
Yay, Alexis, you did an incredible job. Thank you, Jeanette, as well. I get most excited when I see our youth take leadership roles. I'm going to share with you a couple of other reasons you want to be with us and get engaged. We have a total of 4 $50 gift cards as door prizes for those of you who engage in a couple of activities that I'm going to share in a second, for a total of $200 on the table, folks. So you don't want to leave that on this election day. I am going to share my screen. And hopefully this time, I had some troubles the last time, it's going to work a little easier for me. Let's see here. And the staff is going to confirm for me if I am sharing if you can see the screen. Can you all see that? All right. There are 3 surveys that we're offering you to participate in. And every time you do one, and none of them take more than 3 to 5 minutes to complete, you'll be entered into a door prize for a $50 gift card. So you want to up your chances by doing them all. Listen, we all had a hard time during the pandemic. And what SOC wants to do now that we all had to reprioritize what was really important to us is to have an understanding post-pandemic of what's important to you so that SOC can try to meet those needs, because we're planning on what we're going to do the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years. And we want to do what exactly you tell us you need. And so here goes the survey. It's really simple. We ask for your contact information. A big part of that is to understand what neighborhoods are being represented. So we have equity in across the South Side. And then the first question is like, what are your top dreams for your neighborhood? And that could be 1 to 3 dreams that you have. The other question is, what are your top 3 concerns? Super easy questions to answer. Then it asks, are you interested in coming together with some of your other neighbors in a group? That's yes, maybe no. You can get involved and not be part of a group. You can be thinking about it, or you could jump in. And then there's about a dozen topics that you just have to score not important at all to me on the left, somewhat important, important, or very important. So everything is in English and in Spanish. You just have to read what is like, a very short sentence or two, and then just mark the things that are important to you, like safety, housing, education, etc. So we encourage you to do that right away today. Tomorrow, Alexis, our youth organizer, is going to pull the winners of the gift cards. So please do that one. And then the next one we'd like to share with you is the, oops, did I stop sharing my screen, or am I still on? Okay, I got to reshare. Be patient with me, folks. I'm not of this generation that navigates well technology. The next one that we're going to be sharing is a real light lift of getting engaged in the community. It's our 33rd birthday this year. So we're still rolling with our campaign that we launched last year, which was 30 plus 2 with you. And this year it's 30 plus 3 and me. But this is just saying, hey, are you willing to represent the folks on your block? And what we mean by that is hand out, information, resources, and opportunities that we share maybe once or twice a month, which is as simple as just leaving a flyer at folks' doors on your block, and be willing to listen to them and bring that information back. So we're doing what people really need and want. And what we're hoping for is that we get 1 adult and 1 youth on each block on the South Side to be ambassadors. And there's tons of benefits. You're going to get free or reduced fees for all the activities that we do, like our Leadership Institute, our summits, our annual conference, our annual retro ball, etc. And you're going to get all geared up with some really cool SOC gear. And again, maybe once or twice engaged throughout the month is a really light lift, and you'll be entered into the drawing for door prize. And then the last survey is, can you please share with us, was this helpful, the Vote-a-Thon for you? What part of the Vote-a-Thon was most useful? What could we change about it to make it stronger for you, and any other comments that you have? So really an easy lift for you all. And every time you get your name in a drawing, you can share this live Vote-a-Thon. That gets you into the drawing. And then here are some equally easy things to do. You can like our Facebook, and all of this information is on the comments. So if you just click right now and go to it, you could knock it out before I finish speaking. You could go to our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our YouTube. You could upload a photo of you voting or going with someone to vote and just tag SOC. Those are all ways that you can enter into the drawing. And again, tomorrow that's going to be pulled live here at Facebook, SOC's Facebook, so come back. All right, let's share another one of our guests that was with us earlier. Part of the younger generation, we like to show you intergenerational representation as we're with you. So let's go ahead and share. Let's go ahead and share Brandy's video.
Hi everyone, my name is Brandy Hernandez and I am the engagement manager at the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Southeastern Wisconsin. Just wanted to hop on super quick and one, happy election day. Two, wanted to encourage you all to get out and vote. Voting is one of many ways that you can make your voice heard here in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin and all across the country. But yeah, on behalf of the Latino Chamber of Commerce, we just wanted to encourage you all to get out and vote, make your voice heard. If you have any questions on where your polling place is, you can always visit myvote.wi.gov, and that shows directly where you go and vote and what you need to take. Yeah, happy election day.
Brandy did a great job, and we're glad that the Latino Chamber of Commerce partners with us. And let me share the rest of the folks that are part of our Near Southside Civic Coalition. SOC founded that coalition and hosts it, leads it. But let's give a shout out to our great partners. The Latino Chamber of Commerce of Southeastern Wisconsin, which Brandy works for, as she said. The League of Women Voters of Wisconsin, Milwaukee County, Vote-a-Latino. The Milwaukee LGBT Community Center. Milwaukee Turners, Voces de la Frontera, Vote Riders. Thank you for partnering with us. We really appreciate your presence. And then it's just more powerful, folks, when we can come together and really be focused on serving our community in unity. All right, I want to share another resource with you all that really is available to you 24 hours a day. This is why I appreciate this website. I'm going to go ahead and go to myvote.wisconsin.wi.gov. So folks, confirm to me that you can see the screen so I can go forward. And again, we're at myvote.wisconsin.gov. Here, again, 24 hours a day, you can access voting information. Your voting information, like which elections have you participated in. It doesn't disclose what you voted for or who, but it lets you know, did you do the spring or the fall election, the primary or the general. You find your polling place here, where to vote, what's on the ballot. You can update your name or address. You can register to vote. For the fall election, you can request absentee voting by mail. You can track your ballot after you send it in, and you can vote absentee in person, meaning bringing the documents to certain locations. So we're just going to practice two things. I just want you to get a little familiar with this site as we do on each of our Vote-a-Thons. Again, they just highlighted some of the things that I shared. Here, a little more information about absentee voting. You can be a poll worker. You can see election results, the deadlines for elections. You can learn about the process of how our votes get counted, and for some extra support for military voters and families of military voters. So we're going to go ahead and practice just two things. Where your polling place is. This is super important because after the census, some people's locations, boundaries for their district change, which means your polling place could have changed. So I'm going to use the example of SOC's address so that you get, practice doing this. We are not quite yet open to the public since the pandemic, but we will be soon. You can contact us in all the same ways you did, except for coming to the office right now. So phone, email, website, social media. And mostly we're in the community with you doing activities and events and doing doors. So we'll see you there until our office can open again. So if I lived here at 1300 South Layton Boulevard at our office, I would have to vote at Durfler School. Some of the voting locations are in schools, some of them are in park pavilions, etc. It gives you the address here of where the school is, reminds us that voting is from 7 to 8 p.m. today. If you are in line at a voting place by 8 o'clock, they have to let you vote, FYI, so you know. And then they even give you a map if you've not been to that site before. So good stuff. And then if you want to go to find out what you'll be voting on, Because sometimes we pay attention to one or two races, but there's a lot of things going on. You can go ahead and use that same address and search, and it's going to pull up exactly what your ballot is going to look like in terms of the races. So we've all heard, and you're going to hear in a minute more about the Supreme Court race. There are your options. And then there's tons of judge races to vote on. Court of Appeals, Milwaukee County Circuit Court, tons, look at this, tons of circuit court judges to vote for. And then we also have municipal judges to elect, and two out of the three branches. So pay attention to that. And then we have a school board member at large to vote for. Now, your ballot may look a little different depending on where you live, but just giving you an example if you lived where Sauk is. I'm not going to go through all of the referendum questions at this time, but please know that you need to read the referendum questions. And what are referendum questions? This is our elected officials at the state asking our opinions about certain topics so that they know the will of the people. And there's some critical referendums because they have to do with our Constitution, amending it. That's a very serious decision to make, right? Because at the spinal cord of democracy here is our Constitution. And so there is a question about, should the court be able to put conditions on folks before they're convicted? And that's an important, moral and philosophical question for a lot of folks. Again, should the court be able to amend the Constitution for cash bail for folks before the conviction as well? And then should folks, adults without children who are able-bodied, have to work for tax-funded welfare benefits? And then last, which is probably the topic you've most heard about recently, is there's a long-standing, very old law which bans abortion at any stage of pregnancy and doesn't have exceptions for rape, incest, health of the patient. And so this question is, should it be repealed to allow for legal access to abortion care? So we want to make sure you get to see those, think about them as we have just a few hours left to vote. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and we're going to go ahead and share a video that we recorded with the League of Women Voters and Peggy Creer, and she's going to share a little more in detail about the Supreme Court race and some other things about the election. Buenos dias, Peggy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us again. You guys have been incredible partners. I really appreciate it.
And we appreciate the work you do as well.
Yeah, there's enough work for all of us to do, and it's necessary for us to do it in a united way. Eloisa says, thanks to all today's speakers. Hola, Eloisa. She was with us earlier. Happy that you were with us and happy that you're back with us. Peggy, we want to accomplish two things today. We want to get people motivated, those people who maybe have lost a little hope or are totally stressed for time, or don't understand voting, to really get out on this critical election. And then we want to thank you, Anita, for getting me water. I appreciate it. And then any other message you think people really need to hear today. So share your thoughts, share your heart with the folks.
Okay, thank you. I have lots of thoughts on this. For anybody who thinks this election isn't important, you should take a look at some national media headlines over the past week or so. I see one from National Public Radio. In a Supreme Court race like no other, Wisconsin's political future is up for grabs. I think that's pretty motivating. I see another one, a key fight over democracy is currently taking place in Wisconsin. There is so much at stake here. I mean, with our Supreme Court race is huge. This is a 10-year seat with no term limits. and the Supreme Court is going to be hearing some very important cases. They're likely to hear cases about abortion rights. You certainly hear a lot about that. Voting and election laws will come before the Supreme Court, very likely. We are a very gerrymandered state. Our maps are quite skewed, and those will likely come before the Supreme Court. Judicial recusal rules, things like marijuana legalization could come before this court, education policy, labor laws, a lot of very important issues. And the ideological balance of the court is what's in play with this election, and that's why it's getting so much national attention. This is the most expensive state Supreme Court race in our nation's history. I haven't heard the latest total, but I know it's over $40 million has been spent. So for people out there who are wondering if their vote matters, think of all the money that is being spent with the goal of swaying your one vote. That's the whole point of the ads. But let me say, I wouldn't pay very much attention to the content of the ads. It's not illegal to lie in those. So you need to do a little bit of research. I know you have to be in a hurry if you have not made up your mind now, but the difference between candidates is stark. So talk to friends who follow politics. Look at organizations you trust. See what they're saying about this race. Go to vote411.org and do a little research. Doesn't take long. And with the weather we're expecting today, the sooner you head out, the better, probably.
Correct. That's all critical information. And, the Supreme Court race, people really need to take heart of, we're going to be locked in for a whole decade. That it's probably one of the highest stake races we've seen in a while. So thank you for sharing that information. Is there anything else you want to bring to people's attention today, Peggy, before we have you go on to the rest of your day?
And the rest of my day, by the way, is heading over near you. I'll be at a polling place on the south side starting at 1:30. There's one thing that I noticed when I talk to people about voting, something they find surprising. We had a primary election in February, and that determined which candidates went on to this election today. And the turnout for that primary election was 20.5% of the voting age population in Wisconsin. And that was considered kind of high. That's not very good. 4 out of 5 potential voters stayed home. Today, we could break a record and still have more than half of the people who could vote not vote. So I'm pleading with people to please engage your friends and relatives and neighbors and encourage them to get to the polls with you today. If you're in line at 8 o'clock when the polls close, you can still vote. So you've got time.
Thank you, Peggy. We appreciate your partnership and you being with us today. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tammy. You too.
Great information. We're heading to the last portion of the Vote-a-Thon for this broadcast. What we really want to lift up right now is a special election that's taking place today for County Supervisor District 14. So let me explain a little bit about that. The former elected official stepped down, Django Serpa, which left a vacancy. The county exec called for a special election. So here in this election, there's another parallel election running in it for that race. And so there are 3 candidates, and people who live in District 14, which I'm going to show you a map in a second, have to decide which to go forward. And then there's going to be a special election just for that race on Tuesday, May 2nd. So today, the 2 finalists, and May 2nd, you all will be voting in who's going to represent you. And there's some resources out there we want to share for today and for the May 2nd election. We did a candidates form that you can find on our Facebook page. The 3 candidates answered questions from neighbors of District 14. So you can compare and contrast and look at that. You can find that on our Facebook page. And that's going to be shared here in the comments too. So you can go save it or look for it later. And then each of the organizations from our coalition that I mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity to submit a question to the candidates. They answered those questions, and we published that in English and in Spanish last night. You get another sense of who they are and what they believe in and what they promise that they're going to do there. So again, we're going to share that link as well, so you can find it. And then if you're not familiar with what a county supervisor does, because that's very common, like what does an alderperson do versus a county versus a state representative versus a senator versus a congresswoman, you can go to the county board of supervisors page too. We're going to share that link. The bottom line, folks, is if you want information, go take a look at our Facebook page. You're going to find everything that you need there. The poster that we use to promote the candidates forum, that has a shortcut of the responsibilities that county supervisors have as well. And then last I want to say about that Supreme Court race, if you haven't made a decision yet and you have, just a couple of hours left here, you can go to the debate that was hosted by the State Bar of Wisconsin in collaboration with WISC TV and WIS Politics. And they had a debate of those two candidates so you can get to know where they stand on things and who they are. And there's a link in the comments as well. What I'm going to, my last sharing today is going to be that district map for District 14, so that you can understand if you're in that district. The reason that's important is because of the census, the results of how many people live where opens up the opportunity to redraw boundaries. And that's exactly what happened on the south side. So it can be a little confusing. So we're going to try to help clear it up. And then this map's going to be available for you. First of all, it's already on our Facebook, but we're going to share it in the comments again. So let's just get a sense, right? It's not super clean because it's not a square. It's not a rectangle. But on the furthest north boundary is Virginia, Bruce Street, Pierce, so you get a sense. And then as you move south, you can see that it curves a bit, and we're going from like 8th Street to 10th Street, and then most of it is, going to curve into 16th and then eventually to 20th Street. You see that whole line here on the left is 20th Street. So that's the west boundary. The east boundary, as you can see, is a little curved as well, but a lot of it is on First Street or First Place here on the east border. And then finally, the south border of that district is Howard Avenue. And again, if you live within this red boundary, you are District 14 and are going to decide which of the three candidates moves forward, two of them, and then who you're going to elect. And so want to be helpful to you in making that decision. I want to remind you before we conclude this broadcast, you have 4 opportunities to win a $50 gift card for a total of $200. If you share this broadcast, your last opportunity to share will be at 6 o'clock. It's going to be our very last broadcast, and we're going to have State Representative Marisabel Cabrera with us during that broadcast. You can go to our Facebook page, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our YouTube. You can upload a photo of you voting or encouraging someone to vote and tag us. And you can fill out one of those 3 surveys that I said. And again, you're entering for a gift card, and it takes maybe 3 to 5 minutes of your time. We thank you for being with us, and please come back for our last broadcast of the day at 6 o'clock. You're going to get a look at everything that happened today because we were, stacking guests, etc. But I think we're going to do a full program at 6, so you get the benefit of everything that we've done. See you at 6, folks.